Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and thank you for watching this video. Today I want to talk about Caroline and Alaric. This video is basically three parts or more like 2.5 parts. First, I want to talk about them as a ship, as a romantic relationship. Then I want to talk about them as parents to the twins. And then I ask you about them and what do you want me to talk about on my Instagram. And I received a few questions and a couple of them are very interesting, so I also want to talk about them. Okay, first of all, let's talk about them as a ship and basically talk about what people consider to be flaws of Caroline and Alaric. The first one is their age gap, which is 16 years, and it can be considered a big age gap for other TV shows, for dramas, and basically anything other than fantasy. Because in this show, other romantic relationships for Caroline are Stefan and Klaus. And Stefan is 146 years older than Caroline, and Klaus is like 1000 years older or something like that. I don't even know. So when we ignore these huge age gaps, I don't think we can say that this 16 years old is really a flaw of this relationship. The other thing that people told me that they found creepy and unsettling about Alaric and Caroline is the fact that Alaric was Elena's guardian and kinda was like her father figure. And okay, again, any other TV shows, and it was an acceptable flaw. But here we have many complicated relationship. Elena fell in love with two two brothers, and I personally think he was in love with them at the same time. Caroline was attracted to Damon, wanted to be with him, and he abused her. It's another story, but then he fell in love with Stefan. She married him, and Damon became her family. So I don't think this relationship between Caroline and Alaric is wrong because Alaric was like a family to Elena. Mostly because what I just said, and the other reason is that although I believe Alaric was Elena's family, I don't think he was like her father or even her father figure. He was the boyfriend of her aunt, and then he was her guardian. He was family, again, he was family, but not like a father, so I don't think it's creepy or something like that. My biggest problem with Alaric and Caroline is their place in the story. And basically, they have no place story wise. There was no reason, absolutely no reason to write them as a ship. First of all, we all knew they are not going to be a real romantic relationship. Caroline didn't even like Alaric romantically. She wasn't even attracted to him. So, thinking about them as a real ship, thinking about them as a potential for a ship was ridiculous. And none of us was thinking like that. We all knew Caroline's endgame is going to be either Stefan or Klaus, or in worst case scenario, she's going to ends up alone, which of course happened. But Alaric was never in the picture. So there was no reason for them to write this one-sided relationship. And there was no reason for them to be engaged. the other thing that I heard some people say is that they was written as a drama and obstacle for Stephen and Caroline. Again, that doesn't make any sense because Caroline didn't feel anything. If they needed an obstacle, they already have it. Had it. I'm sorry. They had Stefan and Valerie, which were a real romantic relationship. Valerie was Stefan's first love. She was the mother of his child, and they were actually went uh, around the world together. They kissed under stars. Stefan even called her his real life. So if they needed drama, if they needed love triangle, they already had Valerie and Stefan. There was no need for these two to be together. The reason the show gave us for this relationship was that it was better for children, which is honestly nonsense. I mean, in this season, season 7, Caroline said that it's 21st century and families can have many shapes and built in many different ways, which is true. It's very normal for a man and a woman who are not married to raise a child or children together. It's not something even unusual. It happens every day, everywhere. And they could have like bought two houses next to each other and raised the children. They could have even lived in the same house and not be engaged or not fell in love with each other. I mean, what could have happened? There is not like people are going to burn a house. Oh my God, look, there is a man and a woman who are not married. They are living together. So there is no reason for them. And that's the actual flaw of this relationship, which honestly cannot be called romantic relationship. Okay. Now looking at Caroline and Alaric as parents, I'm going to say that they were the best parents in TVD universe. Okay, maybe besides Haley. But if you ask me, I'm going to put them at the top of my list. They were the best. They uh, communicate with each other. They made decisions with each other. They always put their children as top priority, and they truly work together. One of the flaws of Vampire Diaries is that you cannot see many working relationship in in many different shapes. I'm not talking about just romantic relationships. There is so miscommunication and there are so many misunderstandings and basically people never really talk about things. But Alaric and Caroline were not exactly like that. I'm not going to call them perfect, but they were much better than other relationships. And I like how they worked together for their children. They even ended up building a school together for their children, and they truly trusted each other when it came to Lizzie and Josie. I mean, Caroline could convince Alaric to let twins help Klaus, which is big, we all know. The only dark, very dark point in their relationship as parents is when Alaric told Caroline that she's not uh, the mother of the children and twins are not her children. Which I'm really glad that Caroline actually talked about it and told him how wrong he was because Caroline carried these two children. She gave birth to them, she loved them, she raised them, and she did everything for them. Yes, I know Alaric was in a very bad place. He was losing his mind, and he was probably dying from stress and fear. But uh, so was Caroline. She was feeling all this fear and dread at the same time that Alaric was feeling that. So there is no excuse for what Alaric said to Caroline. And I honestly don't really remember what happened, but I hope that he begged on his knees for her forgiveness, because she didn't deserve to be told something, to be told that she is not the real mother of her children. Okay, that was it. That was all my opinion on Alaric and Caroline. Okay, I hope it's okay that I mentioned your username. But okay, that is the one of the question I received on Instagram and like to talk about. Do you feel that Alaric falling in love with Caroline was genuine? No. Okay, we haven't seen them enough. We haven't seen Alaric falling in love with Caroline, so I really can't say this based on what happened on the show. But I think Alaric didn't fall in love with Caroline because of her personality, because of who she was. I think he fell in love with her because of what she did for him. Alaric was in a really bad place after losing his wife on their wedding day. He was ready to die, and in next season he was trying everything to bring Joe back, and he actually lost her again, which was really heartbreaking. And then he realized that he still has his children, and Caroline did everything for him and for the children. She carried them, she went to classes, uh, she loved them from the moment she knew about them. That's how I felt actually. And uh, basically, she was his savior. She gave him the family he thought that he has lost. And after the twins were born, Caroline was there raising them, basically being the biggest help Alaric could hoped for. I think Alaric fell in love with the idea of this perfect family, which they really was perfect. I mean, there is a scene that I think Alaric talks about Caroline's being a vampire and bringing darkness with her or something like that. And if someone thinks like that, he cannot love Caroline for real, because being a vampire is a very big part of Caroline's personality. It's her nature. It's something that she loves truly. She loves everything about being a vampire. So if someone thinks that this being a vampire is just darkness and misery and sadness, that person is not really in love with her, and he cannot be in love with her. You can't hate vampires and fall in love with Caroline at the same time. It's impossible, in my opinion. Okay, this username, it's not complete. I don't know what was the ending. He wasn't himself, but didn't he kill her father? Yes, I think he killed Bill Forbes, Caroline's father. Uh, but as you said, he wasn't himself, and he actually said sorry to Caroline. He was really sad about what he did. He felt so much regret, and it was actually a very good moment because Caroline told him that he wasn't himself, and she actually killed someone too. And it is one of few moments in the show that the victims, these nameless random people, are actually seen as humans, as people who matter. Because Caroline said that I killed someone and that person could have been someone else's father. So we are both guilty and we both have uh, blood on our hands. Okay, that was it. Please subscribe, like, comment. Tell me what do you want in next videos. It doesn't have to be about the Vampire Diaries. You can ask about any shows, any movies, any anime. I love anime. I cannot promise that I watched what you want to suggest, but if I watch them, I make the next video about them. And happy holidays! Thank you so much. Bye bye.